2025. And we're going to take roll call for a quorum. Bob is not going to make the meeting tonight. I believe we're waiting on Nazar to join. And it looks like we've got John Oliar, Miss Caston, myself, and Nathan. So we have enough people to start the meeting. I'll wait till Mrs. Caston writes down the quorum voting for approval.
Who is the lady on the top with the blonde hair? I don't know who she is.
That is, I believe, Miss Williams.
Deborah Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hello. Okay. All right. And what is this? Dr. what? Who is that? I think he's muted.
Yeah, let me ask him. I'm going to unmute. Dr. Don, can you hear us? Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself. On your side, you should have a way to unmute your mic. If you could just give us your doc and slip number on a piece of paper, that's fine. David. Can't see the last name. $17.13.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, we're good.
Okay. Item 3, approve the meeting of the minutes from the previous month's board meeting. I make a motion to approve the minutes. Any opposed?
Nope.
Sorry, Nathan. I'm going to unmute your mic for you.
I'm not opposed.
Okay. Okay, looks like the minutes from the previous month's meeting were approved. Item 4, President's Report. Nathan, do you have a checking account balance?
Yes, I do. I have a treasurer's report. Should I deliver it now?
Well, I just want to say, I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be kind of low, right?
Let me just go through it because I do have something new for the group.
Okay, go ahead then.
All right, here's the treasurer's report. I want you all to know the board continues to review and release financial statements on the board of directors Facebook group. I am still reviewing the financial statements from February 2025 and may review them with our bookkeeper before releasing them because I had some questions. One item I would like to call out is that according to an accounts receivable report, the total of slip owners overdue amounts is currently $40,343.77. As treasurer, I ask all slip owners to pay their amounts due, and I ask the board to collect these past due amounts. Since I'm not releasing financial statements right now, the checking account balance today is $6,209.74, and the savings balance as of February 28th was $61,120.68. That's all.
Okay. So just to let everybody know, basically, there's a lot of court action going on from an individual, and he's taking it upon himself to run the bill up as much as he can, and not much we can do about it at this point, but I know we've got some legal items happening tomorrow, and hopefully we can conclude that. And on that same person, he asked the judge to recuse himself, and that was denied. Moving on to the next item for the treasurer's report. This person also called out the fire marshals, and there were some items to be taken care of, which is in my opinion, a good thing to get some of these items repaired. One of the items that was waiting for parts to come in was the backflow preventer valve out there in the parking lot. The fire marshal wanted him to replace the old backflow valve due to safety concerns, and he went ahead and took care of that once the part came in. It came in, it was a little pricey, it was $7,000. Apparently it's one of the original valves that was in there, pretty expensive. I did speak with the plumber on that, and he said that was the cheapest one he could get. The next thing we're gonna talk about is the 20-year agreement that expired with the condominiums. A lot of people have been asking about the amenities, and basically we're getting a lot of feedback from the non-liveaboard side, especially near the townhomes. Not everybody in the condos, but in general, it seems like people that live down there don't use these facilities. And so what we're going to do is we're going to canvass the liveaboard side to see if they may want to pay for those amenities. We're looking at something approximately $20 a month. And depending on the outcome of that survey, if we get a majority vote to pay that fee on the liveaboard side, then I'll go ahead and speak with Donato and we'll look at the details. But we're working on making sure everybody's email addresses are accurate so we can send out a survey on that. And then once we get that survey back, we'll let everybody know the results of that. Item 5 is the treasurer's report. And Nathan, you said you had nothing else, or do you have more for the actual treasurer's report?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that I was supposed to, I gave my treasurer's report. I thought that I was supposed to give it earlier.
Okay, that's fine. I was just double checking if you didn't have anything else.
Well, I
Okay.
just want to call out one thing I did mention on the treasurer's report. As we continue to work with our bookkeeper and continue to improve our reports, we can now see that the total of amounts owed is, like I said, is $40,343.77. That's all. You add up all the amounts that people have not paid for their dues and any violations and stuff like that. That's the amount that it adds up to. So it is imperative that people pay those amounts and that the board collects that. Thank you.
Hey Nathan, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, have we composed, as we did before, a list of those that are so far in arrears that we will pursue foreclosure action?
I do have a full list which can be shared with board members, and it shows which slips which shows which slips and how much they owe.
Sure.
So it could be used for that purpose. I've not myself been involved in that, but it is available.
Okay, I just suggest that we take that up in executive session.
Yeah, John, I actually have on my list there of things to discuss in executive session. That's definitely on the list.
Great.
All right, item 7A, piling repairs. As most people know, those pilings are about 45 years old. And we are going to start replacing some of the pilings. I've got 3 pilings on the list, and the piling vendor contractor has to put it off for another week. So we're looking at next Friday. So before next Friday, we're going to prep those piling locations. The first piling is one that's actually hollow on the inside. It's on dock 20, I believe it's like 14. So what they're going to do is we're going to have the boat pulled out, stick the piling next to the other one, and move the tide riser out. So we started the preparations. One of the pilings that's going to be replaced, it's not really a piling, it's more of a 3 by, I believe it's a 6-inch post that needs to be placed over on dock 18A. There's a portion of the boardwalk that started to collapse. So the townhome president had a contractor that replacing the deck boards, and they discovered a section collapsing. So they've temporarily put some boards up in there and screwed them down so that the boardwalk is going to be safe until they actually put that post down in there. So that would be the second, I guess, post or piling that's going to get replaced. And then we had a third one. Oh, the third one is on dock 12. That particular one, and a lot of these finger piers that you see out there, I noticed right after Barrel, when they went underwater, what happened was someone had used regular screws to hold down the Trex. And so what happened was these Trex pieces literally rusted loose, and as the water rose up, some of the Trex pieces had floated away. And so on the ones, finger piers that did not twist on us, I went ahead and repaired those. The ones that they were twisted obviously need to be repaired, the finger piers, so there was no sense in trying to patch those Trex spots. And in the fire department report, they put down pictures of some of these, which we plan on repairing and replacing anyway. So that work is going to be complete. Something else about the fire marshal report was they were asking us to install card readers on docks 12, 13, and 16 and 17. The cost of that would be pretty high, so he did approve us just to remove the push locks that were on there, so that the fire department could get access into the docks, those two docks, if needed, that had gates. So that got resolved. Item 7B, infractions. So we sent out some letters for dirty boats and a lot of build downs that were damaged by Barrel. And most of the people responded. We've got a lot cleaner boats out there. And a lot of people either repaired or actually demolished their drop downs that were in disrepair. We got about a 65 to 70% success rate on that. The rest of the people will probably be receiving infraction letters for their build downs or dirty boats. So we're still in the process of working on that. But most of the people went out there and took action and repaired their issues, and it's looking a lot better. The liveaboard gate has been working in operation for about, I'd say, 3 weeks now, and there's been no issues reported yet. So the new gate's finally up and running. And there were a few people that wanted some secondary cards. And of course, they'll pay the $30 for each additional tenant. As long as they have a tenant in that slip or in if they have multiple slips, then they'll get that extra card for $30.
And they can get the cards where?
The cards are at the bookkeepers, and if the person doesn't want to go to the bookkeepers, you can simply have them mail it to you. Item 7D, we already discussed the 20-year agreement. We're just going to take a vote on the liveaboard side and see what kind of results we get for that. And then item 70, I already discussed that, which was the backflow preventer. We're going to move on to item 8A. The board needs to get together and review the rules and decide which rule next that we'll take a look at to send out to members for violations. A lot of the rules that were filed look like they're pretty old. Some of them are outdated to the point where they probably need to just be deleted as a rule. So the board needs to kind of start looking at that and decide which is the next one that we need to take action on. Okay, item 8B, there was a report of a damaged pier, finger pier 1714, and we sent out a contractor to evaluate the pier, and the pier appears to have been damaged by weight from the low tide of a vessel, and we did get a quote for that. The quote came out to about $900, which is not a bad price for the repair. We just need to schedule with the boat owner to pull the boat out so that the repairs could be made. We can discuss more, I guess, in executive session if there's any details.
Hey,
But
Kurt.
we did get a quote on that.
Hey, Kurt.
Yeah.
I just thought of this. You know, if the boat owner is responsible for it, we should claim it on their insurance.
It would be the slip owners, and well,
Yeah.
that's something. Yeah, we'll discuss it. Item 8C, legal updates, I kind of already had given that. There was, some documents that needed to be, updated and filed. That got taken care of. And then the other items on the fire marshal,
Hey, Kurt.
one of them was the boardwalk repairs next to the condominiums. I don't know if Donato can tell us, I know he had a survey done. And it kind of appears to me that there's some markings halfway on the boardwalk in front of the condos. So, I'm gonna unmute Donato and ask him if he had any update on his survey concerning the actual boardwalk there. What his survey showed
Um,
and give us any information.
So we had the survey done and we had questions on the results, to be honest with you. If you look at the boardwalk, right now, the way, and they do it by markers, they don't do it by how the building's set up or anything. But if you look at the boardwalk, the way it was marked, about 1/3 of the boardwalk is ours, and the other 2/3 is the wharfs. Now, having said that, we were told that we should pull up the deed and the title to see if there's anything written about the boardwalk on either one of them. So that's when the process of getting a hold of that. We did have the surveyors come out a second time because that was a very strange result. We wasn't expecting anything like that. And that were the questions. All the other stuff came out pretty much where we thought everything would come out. But the boardwalk was a big question. So we have a couple more steps that we're gonna take, and that's for us to, and we can actually do that online. That'll probably get done this week sometime. We're gonna pull the deed to our place and the title and see if there's anything written on either one of them about the boardwalk. Now, what we were told was the way they measure, all the boundaries and border lines and all that stuff is from pieces that were put in the ground when, the place was built. And the first one that they found was basically, I guess it was out there by the street. And then they worked their way in and started finding all the other little markers that they put in. So this was like a total surprise to all of us. So we have to take a couple more steps and see if we can find exactly who owns the boardwalk, I guess is the big question right now. And I think in one of the, and I don't quote me on this, but I think I heard somebody said in one of the agreements that we've had in the past years, it was stated that the condominiums own the boardwalk. Now we're kind of second guessing this, so we have a little bit more that we have to dig into to find out. So in the meantime, I don't know if you've noticed, we have been doing some repairs on the boardwalk. So that's where we're at on that. And as soon as if we can find out for sure what's going on in the deed or the title, then I'll get back with you guys. Any questions on that?
Thank you, Donato. Anybody have any questions on the board?
Actually, I just wanted to make a comment about 8C, sorry, if I can.
Which one was that? 8C? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So you touched on the fact that the individual involved in the vast majority of the expenses for the legal, on the legal side, had really taken it upon himself to just cause as much cost to the board as possible. And then you touched on the recusal. There's much more to it. I just wanted to mention that that individual has also made multiple appeals of verdicts in the cases, has had 60 plus motions by last count within the different court records that we've seen, and an attempt to recuse the judge because he didn't like the outcome of the previously mentioned filings. And of all of those, the individual involved has only managed to win one motion, and that was a motion that he was indigent. Other than that, we have been successful, or the judge has not taken up his appeals because he didn't see a reason to. So that is the level of what we're dealing with, but we're hopeful that this will be coming to an end soon. That was it, Kurt.
Okay, thank you.
Oh.
That's pretty much all we've got here for regular business. Before we go into executive session, we'll go ahead and give, does anybody on the board have any comments or questions before we move on to members' questions?
Not me.
Okay. I'm taking a look at the list here for hands up in the air. I'm gonna double check my view. I don't see Miss Hiltz out there. Does anybody see Miss Hiltz?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay,
Kurt,
anybody?
are you asking the members? Are you asking the members if they want to have a chance to say something? Is that what you're saying, Kurt?
Yes, I'm going through the list right now. I'm looking for, if you want to raise your hands, you can get 3 minutes to, I guess, ask questions of the board or make comments. Donato, is your hand? I think your hand's up, so I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, I just wanted to touch base on the contract, new contract. And let the members and the board know, we have always been open to a new contract. The only thing we were not open to was automatically renewing the old one. That has never been an issue that we won't talk about a new one or anything like that. Of course, we have to discuss the terms back and forth. And I just want it to be known that we were never opposed to a new contract or negotiating a new contract. And that's really all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Donato.
Hey,
Any
Kurt,
other-
can I say something?
Sure.
Yeah, just besides thanking Donato, thank you for that comment. So the people might not know that when you say raise hand, there's a button they can click on Zoom down at the bottom that actually makes a yellow hand show up next to their icon on the screen. Or if they could show their camera, they could raise their hand like I'm doing right now. They might not realize what you mean when you say raise hand. I was just trying to help them out if they want to say something.
Sure, no problem. Any questions from any of the members out there? I see somebody by the name of,
chat.
say again?
Or they could probably click on the chat thing and say if they want to say something too, that would show up too probably.
Yeah, I see somebody by the name of Autumn. I'm gonna unmute this person and Autumn, can you let us know what your dock and slip is?
She's in 18 something. 1858 or something, 53 or something like that.
All right, thank you.
49. Can you hear me?
There you go.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, or good evening. It's 49.
Oh, okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Darren, I see you just joined. I'm gonna click your unmute. We're taking questions. Did you have any questions? I know you showed up kind of late, but Darren? Darren Whitmarsh, you should be able to unmute yourself. There you go.
probably hear me. No,
Yeah,
I
we
don't,
can
I
hear
don't
you.
have any questions.
Okay. Christian Allen, I know you said you wanted to discuss some items. I'm gonna unmute you.
Oh, did I?
Hi, good evening,
Christian,
everybody.
there you
Yeah,
are.
can you
Yep.
hear me?
I
One of
can,
the items I wanted to discuss is how did y'all contact owners who were not in compliance with rules like dirty boats or build downs? I don't
We sent
remember
out,
hearing.
we sent out certified letters and also emails.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yep.
Okay, and also, I don't know if you are aware, but all of the lights are out on docks 12 and 13, all the way down.
Okay. 12 and 13. Do you, have you called the Marina phone before to report items?
No, I just noticed that last night.
Okay.
And there's something else I was going to discuss, but I can't remember for the life of me what it was.
Okay.
So that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Darren Barry, did you have any questions? I'm assuming not, but I just want to double check. Okay. Since there's no more questions, I'm gonna make a motion to go ahead and end this meeting, portion of the meeting.
I second it.
Any opposed? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and close out the session and go into the executive session.